and made out of plywood, probably made out of 1.5mm birch plywood, to be more specific. We're going to use a program called 2D Design. 2D Design is this one I've got on the screen in front of me. If you want to find it, you won't find it on a Chromebook. It's not an app, it's an actual program. It needs to work on a Windows computer. Okay, so around the computers around the room or the laptops down in D3. Okay, so here's my page. It's an A3 page that's 42 centimeters by 29 centimeters. And first thing is, can you see the dots on the page? Ask yourself. Right, well, if you can't, they're called the grid, right? Double click on the grid on the top there. Change the dots to lines and change the color of the dots, the lines, sorry, to like a light color, like blue or something. And what you should end up having, oops daisy, change that to lines and okay. What you should have ended up with is a grid on the page. Right, if you're using the grid, you should use the grid lock button. So these two buttons need to be on the right hand side. Okay, next thing is we're going to be drawing a Christmas tree decoration. So I've got a zoom button down the bottom there and it lets me magnify a part of the page. So my next bit is I'm going to draw a circle. So click on the grid and drag out so you create a circle. So each square is 10 millimeters. So that's a circle with a diameter of 20. That's a circle with a diameter of 40. That's a circle with a diameter of 60. So that's a 60 millimeter diameter circle. Now I want you to create a square on top of it. Go down to your delete button, which is down the bottom here. Hold it down and click the second one along and trim these parts off. Okay, next thing then, let's have a look. I want to draw the top of the bauble. Now here's a problem, right? Because the grid only lets me draw a circle that's a tangent there or goes right out to the edge, say for example, which is a bit too big. So I'm going to double click on my grid and I'm going to change the size of the grid. So I'm going to make the grid 5 by 5 now, right? Click OK. I've got a lot of some smaller little circles or squares now. So I should be able to do that. Get back into my trim and cut those bits out. That's the shape of my bauble, right? So I might want to make a copy of that just quickly because I might want to do more than one design, which is always a good idea in DT, right? So there's my second one I can work on. Okay, the next thing, what I need to do is I need to find a picture of a bauble that I can use on my design, right? So I'm going to open a window and I'm going to search in here for a snowflake, S-I-L-H-O-U-E-T-T-E, silhouette. So that's just a shadow of an object, right? Now find a snowflake that you like the look of. So I like the look of this one with the rounding sides. Copy the image and then go back into 2D Design, right click and paste the image into your page. So there's the picture. Now, here's a problem. That picture is, if I zoom in on it, you might be able to see, made up of a load of little dots. We call that a bitmap, right? Now, we don't want a bitmap. We want a vector. So we're going to vectorize this bitmap. So in Techsoft, it's quite simple. Click on bitmaps, click on vectorize bitmaps and click it. Click on monochrome, black and white, and you can slide the bar up and down to create a nice shape that you want. Click OK again, and that gives you your vector image. Now it's a filled vector image, so we want to take the fill out of there, right? So click no fill and click OK. And there now is my snowflake, which will go in the middle of my Christmas tree decoration. Okay, so let's just put that in the middle better. Turn that grid lock off a second. Okay, so there is my snowflake design. Now, what you got there is totally laserable, right? And it's nice and strong. There's no really thin bits of wood because this outside bit's all going to be wood. Some of your designs might end up with an island in the middle of them, let's say, like this sort of thing, right? So let's just turn the grid lock off, like this. So if you had a little island in the middle, you have to be aware that that is going to drop out because it's not supported. So I'm going to show you something you might want to think about, right? If you go to here and draw a little circle that maybe goes and cuts through all those shapes, you can then use your trim button to cut away these sections, look, and you can reverse the material, if you know what I mean. So basically anything that's a hole is now a solid, right? So you will be able to create a design that may be a bit stronger. So that island now is actually going to be solid wood. Okay, once you've finished it, don't forget you've got to save. So go File, Save, and once it's saved, you're able to return to it next lesson. Make sure you give it a name that you'll remember. Okay, well done.